Hey, Daver here. Welcome to the show.
Hey, this guy's Chad.
And Chandler's back as well. How we doing, Dave?
Dude, I am pumped. I'm going to go ahead and pretend like the last, 4 or 5 minutes of Dynamite didn't happen.
Ooh.
And I'm going to freeze in time the moment of my champion Sting relishing in the moment right before his sons got in the ring, and then the show ended, I think.
Yeah.
Didn't get any overrun, huh?
I thought it was funny. We'll talk about it when we get there, but whenever they were showing those guys, I guess I missed that those were Sting's sons. So I was like, why are they showing these guys? They're like two random, but I thought they were like henchmen of the Young Bucks for a second. I was like, are these like bodyguards or something? And then like Sting won, and it's his last title that he'll win in his career, and it's a wonderful moment. And they're like, good for you, Dad. Yeah. Like, I don't know if that were my dad, I'd be like, oh, let's go. But they're like, yeah, nice. So I don't know. It was weird.
Dude, they sure knew how to sell, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. At least they kept their shirts on.
Yeah. I don't know.
From what I remember, either one of or both of them were like pretty talented college football players. From what I remember, the like shorter one looked like pretty beefy, kind of like he looked like he had some size to him. But yeah, fun match. Of course, we'll get into the shenanigans that happened after that. But we also got Tony Khan's not big, huge announcement, right?
Gigantic. They use any word they can.
Ginormous?
Yes. Extravagant.
I think we're getting the CM Punk first dance treatment for Mercedes. Big business in Boston. Unfortunately, I'm sure Tony was pretty angry. It leaked like 3-4 hours before Dynamite went on the air. I'm sure that wasn't supposed to happen, but yeah, we're getting that special edition of Dynamite. Don't know why they're naming it that.
Well,
I have no idea.
They're hoping to do big business, so they're going to advertise it and make a lot of money.
Yeah, and the guys the graphics department misspelt Boston as well.
They could take it to the bank because they make so much money. They could buy a Mercedes. Sasha Banks, do you get it?
Oh, okay. Yeah, not only did they put an extra S in there, they were dollar signs.
Yeah, that's how you spell Tony Khan. Tony's washed. He doesn't know what he's doing. This is over. Let's talk about WWE.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So genuinely, I did watch the WrestleMania press kicker that happened at this point 3.5 hours ago or so. A lot of it was kind of nothing. So you start off with your panel: Michael Cole, CM Punk, Big E, and Pat McAfee. It was really good to see Big E. And the only thing that was kind of important there is they mentioned the Cody Crybaby, which, if you don't know, Pat McAfee had The Rock on his podcast, and they were talking about the whole passion for Cody is what they've been calling it, which is just mean they're booing The Rock. And he just was like, there's these Cody Crybabies who are booing. So any Cody Crybabies, put your hand up, please, because right here. Anyway, so that's kind of the only important thing all around. So the first person that came out was Bianca Belair, and she was like, well, WrestleMania means a lot for me. They mentioned Sasha Banks, so ooh. And then they went, oh, I'm not holding any titles, but I'm going to be in a qualifying match for the Elimination Chamber. That was it. And then Rhea Ripley came out, and she was like, I won the championship last year. I'm going to walk out of it with it again this year. And then Becky Lynch came out, and she was like, I'm going to the Elimination Chamber. I'm going to beat you at Mania. And I think she was like, you're going to be a bottom after I'm done with you. So that was a pretty fun line from Becky Lynch to Rhea Ripley. And then the main event, because Rollins came out, And he's like, I want Cody Rhodes. And he's like, but I can't make that decision. So Cody Rhodes coming out. And that's when I was like, oh, Cody's going to come out and they're going to announce the match. Then Roman Reigns came out, which was pretty interesting. And Roman was like, oh, you know what, Seth, you suck. Basically, you're a loser. I don't care about you. So what we're going to do, I'm going to pick my opponent for WrestleMania because I'm on top. And he was like, I picked The Rock. And then The Rock came out, and The Rock was so hammy. This genuinely felt like 2014 Authority. Like, it felt like a sketch like that from Raw because he was like, now look, we're going to have the greatest WrestleMania main event of all time. Boo. You don't want to see The Rock versus Roman Reigns at the biggest WrestleMania main event of all time? Boo. And you can see on the side of the stage at this point, they have like Roman Reigns and The Rock. So it's like, ooh, they're going to do it. And then they're like, all right, we're going to do Roman Reigns and The Rock. And The Rock is like, I'm going to show you guys something really important that you'll like. And then there's a big ass tree on the like screen behind them. And it's the family tree. And he's like, that's why this is important. And it's like, it feels so heely. And then Cody Rhodes comes out. And he's like, no. I'm not okay with this. You know what? I pick Roman. And then they're like, well, he's Royal Rumble winner. So what he says he does. So they changed The Rock to Cody. And basically, Cody looked at The Rock and Roman and said, both of your guys' grandfathers would be ashamed of you. And Rock basically said, you talk about his family, you talk about my family, you talk about my family, you talk about his family. Now we got a problem. And it ends with Rock smacking Cody Rhodes. And there's a lot of swearing, like a lot of swearing. They censor out like probably half of it.
Damn.
Yeah. So I actually feel quite bad for Seth Rollins in all of this because when Roman and Rock when Cody first comes out, Roman's like, you go to the losers table over there. So Roman just kind of belittled Seth in his title, which is one thing when like we do it because we don't have that much sway in the wrestling world. Like if we have an opinion about this title and Seth's reign, it's one thing. It's another thing when your biggest guy in the company does it. So that was probably the one thing that I didn't like because I was like, why are we still trashing Seth? Like, on air, that's not great. And so it ends with that, and then they go back to the panel of CM Punk, Big E, Michael Cole, and Pat McAfee, and this was my favorite part of the entire thing. They're like, what would you do, Mr. CM Punk, if your boss punched you? And CM Punk is like, if my boss punched me, I'd punch him right back in the face, bro. I don't care. I'd swing. So there's just like keep going back to that. Like CM Punk, what would you do if your boss hit you? He's like, I'd punch him back. So they just keep bringing it up. And like the last important thing is they go backstage and there's Triple H talking to, I want to say Jackie Redmond, just one of their like Renee Paquette, Dasha, Lexi Nair, sorry, backstage interviewer. And they're like, so what's going to happen with all this? What's going on? And you see Rock and Roman walk up behind him because it's very clear that they're together now. They're working together. And they basically say, Triple H, you need to fix this. So they're basically setting up Rock and Roman versus Cody and maybe Seth. So that's kind of everything that came out of that press conference that I saw. I might have missed something, but that's where we're at.
Okay. Yeah. How'd we get there though? Like, was it from the backlash? Was it? There's no way they planned this.
So I don't know. I kind of am at the point where I don't really care anymore, but my speculation is The Rock said the reason they didn't do it last year is because they wanted to do something never done before. And maybe this is that something that's never been done before. Let's just forget about Daniel Bryan for a second. This is that thing that has never been done before. They're going to have a board exec hold the good guy down and the big tribal chief hold him down. He's got his big reign, and this is going to be ultimate Cody adversity for the next couple months. I'm sure they'll have him wrestle some like Omos or Braun Breaker at Elimination Chamber for Cody to keep going. Like, I'm sure they're going to give him some big time adversity in the next couple weeks and months, but I guess behind the scene, I don't really know. It's hard to tell. They did say, I think Triple H literally said sometimes people just go into business for themselves, which is kind of like, they're kind of selling this like a shoot. So I like it. Maybe it is a shoot, brother. Are we working ourselves into a shoot? Are we shooting ourselves into a work?
Dang. Will Roman break that record?
Hogan's record?
Yeah.
I think if they're actually telling this story and you get to either Cody versus Roman or a triple threat, I think Cody beats him. I think they're gonna do it. There's no way they do the rematch and they rigmarole all those people. Like the end goal of this has to be Cody winning. So I would say right now, if the match is Cody Roman, no, he loses it at Mania. But who knows?
Man, will Cody be? He'll have it for 4.5 years.
Maybe they're just like, whatever, Cody, you can break Hogan's record.
Then we'll be tired of him.
I hope not. Like, I think people are tired of Roman because his matches have the same finish and he never is around. So if Cody's able to tell different match finishes and maybe he changes his character sometime through or shows up more than once every 4 months, I'm sure I'd still be fine with Cody as champ. If Roman showed up more than once every 4 months, I'd still like him as champ. If his matches have different finishes, same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're gonna have to let it play out.
Yeah, brother.
But I mean, so they got a ton of eyes on the product now. It's probably going to be one pop in WrestleMania. Probably sold some extra seats, which that's what they need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's intriguing, but you know what? It's not just about WWE, because I'll be honest, this was an excellent episode of Dynamite. Maybe, except for one of the better Continental Classics one, probably the best episode of Dynamite I've ever seen.
That's fair.
Best
It
of
was a banger.
2024.
Easily.
Yeah, it had for me. It had that must feel, like must see, must watch. There we go. Words are hard apparently. Feel like around the pandemic, those shows had. I don't know. I feel like the magic's kind of back, and I hope they can keep that momentum because, yeah, for me, front to back, it was a great show. Teetered a little during the Jericho match.
We'll get to that. I was telling Chad before we started, like, I typically always watch the Dynamite or the Collision the day after, and I'm pretty good about avoiding all spoilers, but I always get one thing spoiled for me. Just YouTube and social media. I always just get one thing spoiled. But I was thinking about it last night, and I was like, you know what? I don't want anything spoiled for me. I want to watch this, not live because I was busy, but as soon as I got home from dinner, I turned this episode right on and I just watched it straight through. And if a certain match had a certain finish, I would have stopped watching, but we didn't have that. So we're good.
Yeah, clearly Tony Khan watches our podcast.
So does Triple
And
H.
yeah. I mean, clearly, I mean, who wouldn't? Yeah, we'll get to that match a little later on.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're coming from Phoenix, Arizona at the Footprint Center. They started off hot right off the bat with Hangman Page Swerve 3, the rubber match. Uh, Swerve wanted no interference from Nana or the Mogul Embassy. Yeah, they started off really cautious, uh, thoughtful wrestling. The crowd was clearly on Swerve's side, uh, kind of booing Page more and more as the match went on. Uh, Swerve bit Page's thumb at one point. Hangman Page countered the arm breaker from Swerve. Swerve backflipped on Page from the ring to the outside. Swerve hit a house call to Page for a 2 count. Then Hangman bite Swerve's head on top of the turnbuckle. Swerve lands and avoids a power bomb in the corner, but kind of lands on his head a little bit. Swerve hit a buckshot lariat on Page, then a Swerve stomp and a cover for a 2.99. I thought it was over uh, at that point. Uh, Page ended up hitting a DDT on the crowd barricade. Kind of think they did that one time before, but Swerve
hit the
did
pile
it.
driver.
Yeah, it
So
was their death match.
he learned.
Yeah, love that. Unfortunately, the table fell when Page laid on it, but we got a new table put up. Hangman Page hit a buckshot, cover Swerve, but Swerve gets his leg on the rope. Adam Page hit the Deadeye on the apron on Swerve. Swerve got pretty banged up from that and barely beat the 10 count at 9 after Nana cheered him on and danced to try to get him pumped up and aware of what was going on. Hangman ended up hitting Nana with a chair for his trouble. Yeah, I wrote down, man, Hangman is definitely working heel.
Some people
Um,
said this was the double turn in this match where Swerve is now the face and Page is the heel, which watching it, I didn't really catch that, but I definitely can see that. Like maybe it's just because that's kind of been the trajectory they've been on for a couple months, but this is that like this is the match. This is when they've turned.
dude, imagine the threat of a heel, ruthless Hangman Page, like compared to the old millennial worried cowboy Hangman Page. Like,
Oh,
dude,
I love it,
I
man. The Magnum
look out.
TA looking outlaw cowboy.
Well, he
Hell
pulls it
yeah.
off, especially at the end. He seemed unhinged, which is like I wouldn't want him unhinged for everything, but just in that moment, he played it so well. Which we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but yeah, Hangman Adam Page is a heel. I'm loving it.
Yeah. Um, let's see. Swerve hit a Swerve stomp on Hangman, but his ankle buckled. Swerve goes for a JML driver, but Hangman snaps Swerve's ankle. Swerve hit a Deadeye to Hangman through a table on the floor from the apron. I like how Swerve hit both of Hangman's finishers. Uh, Swerve goes for a third stomp, but misses. Hangman goes for a buckshot, but Swerve dodges and hit a JML driver on Page. But right at the third count, the bell rang. Draw. Time expired. Oh my gosh, dude. Uh, at first, the crowd was like, oh no, bullshit. But then like it sunk in like, oh my gosh, that was perfectly timed, perfectly executed, a masterpiece. Uh Absolutely incredible. Swerve wants 5 more minutes. Page says no. Uh Tony Khan tells Tony Schiavone that he has booked a 3-way match for the AEW World Championship. Swerve, Hangman, and Samoa Joe. Yes. Uh, yeah, loving that. Then we get Renee with Joe to see what he thinks about everything. She wants to know his reaction. He is pissed. He says, none of those men deserve to be in the ring with me. Says the deck is stacked against him. Joe says, I am Samoa Joe and I am the AEW World Champion. And despite your best efforts, no matter what you do, I walk out AEW World Champion. It's a shame that both of them will suffer because of it. Woo, okay. Yeah, I love Joe as champion right now. Uh, I think it's perfect. Uh, I like, obviously, I like the chase of the belt more than the retention of the belt, you know what I mean? Uh, a lot more fun to follow, but yeah, I like everything about it. I like the main event for Revolution. I think it'll be a freaking insane match. Uh, do you think Joe? He's got to retain, right?
I can't decide because I want Swerve to win so much, and I think if he wins here, it'll be like so incredible. But also, if you hold it off for just one more pay per view, it might be even better. So I can't decide. And when I was watching the Swerve and Hangman match, I was like, oh God, Swerve has got to win this. Like, Swerve has got to win this triple threat. He is so good. And then Joe just cuts one 30-second promo, and I'm like, but I don't want him to lose yet. So I don't know. I really can't decide. When we get to our predictions, I know I can split it, but even then, who do I put my 2 on? Who do I put my 1 on? I don't know. How about you, Chad?
Oh yeah, for me, I'd like to see Paige and Swerve just take each other apart in the triple threat, and Joe to come out on top. And then they can tell the story of like they go to the back of the line and they got to climb their way up to the top. And maybe this time Swerve or wins the one-on-one match and wins it on the next pay-per-view. That'd be great. I think that'd be good storytelling. Joe gets a better reign because he's had Hook, and that's it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's not a good reign.
No. You need at least one more person. I would say one more match before Revolution, the Revolution match, and then one to two matches in between Revolution and Double or Nothing.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not ready. It's not. I want Swerve to be champion more than anything, but I think it would hurt Joe. And if you waited till Double or Nothing, I think it'll really, really resonate.
Yeah, I think because this is probably Samoa Joe's only AEW title run, so you'll want to get as long of it as you can, but you don't want to sit around on Swerve for too long. So,
I don't
but
know.
this
I mean,
match, oof. What were you saying, Dave?
thankfully, it isn't like terribly long. Maybe they could add one of their like another Wrestle Dream type, like insert something in between a new pay-per-view between
Right.
Double or Nothing and Revolution.
I think the only problem with that is that would be right around April or so, and I think there's a Ring of Honor thing like in April. So I don't know if again, I don't know if Tony Khan would have a problem mixing the two and having them overlap potentially. I don't know if he cares, but that would be the only hang up is I know there is like Super Card of Honor, I want to say.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm not
And
against it. Maybe or what about Big Business, Dynamite Big Business?
Yeah.
Samoa Joe has a big title match.
yeah, I think that would be. Oh wow, yeah, yeah. They'll get a million viewers if they book that, and people think Mercedes is debuting. They might get 1.2.
Is that more than the Punk numbers?
I don't think they've ever broke 1.2, have they, Chad?
No, yeah, I think that was
I
the
don't
biggest.
I don't think Monet's bigger than Punk though, unfortunately. I think she'll get a lot, but I don't think it'll be Punk numbers.
Yeah, I mean,
Punk is a he had a 7-year long hiatus from wrestling and made his grand return to the second biggest promotion. That's a bit more riding on if Monet never went to Japan, that would probably be on the same
True.
level. If she hadn't gone to Japan and she had just been away for a bit, maybe just done other stuff outside of wrestling, and then hey, I'm coming back, big business, then I would agree with you. But I wouldn't say muddied the waters a bit, but that's not
Definitely
going to be
diluted it.
yeah.
Yeah.
also, Punk is a assassin on the microphone. Mercedes Monet,
Not as
not
much.
so much.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of a big draw. Like, oh my gosh, what is Punk gonna say? Like that was half of it. Like they wanted to see him on Rampage when he debuted. Like they didn't announce him
Mhm.
clearly, but people knew. but they wanted to hear what he had to say. People aren't really going to want to hear too much about what she has to say, not that
Yeah.
she's terrible on the mic, but
Well, yeah. Again, it's just like a whole different situation, and she was definitely mistreated by WWE. But that was a different regime than what's going on now. So, I mean, Naomi's back, and Naomi left for these same exact reasons. So, well, maybe she'll again. I think this is one where I'm definitely a bit more soft and like, oh, I think she'll do good. She'll let it play out, but I'm not like excited or like stoked. But maybe this could be that big breath of fresh air for the women's division we've been talking about. Maybe she'll be which is funny to compare to this. Maybe she'll be the Ronda Rousey for AEW.
Yeah, I think they're poised to turn a corner on the women's division. I mean, just look at like Serena Deeb's back. She's looking amazing. Mariah May, Deonna Purrazzo, Tony Storm, Jamie Hayter's probably coming back soon, one would hope. I heard people were pitching like get the belt on Sasha as fast as you can. Have Hayter come back and do it at Wembley.
No, you gotta Mariah May beat Tony. Come on, that's the story. You can't. What are we even talking about with this whole Cody Rhodes nonsense? You tell a story and then you go, never mind. Here's this bigger star.
Well, and then the 0 hour, The Rock comes in and steals the whole show.
I think if you actually want to have development in the women's division, you need to have Mercedes Moné go on like a feud or two. Like Punk had his feud with MJF and Kingston before he went for belts, right?
Yeah.
So give Moné a good feud against Britt Baker or Jamie Hayter, Deonna Purrazzo.
got one.
Thunder Rosa.
How about the real story? The woman who broke her neck.
Yeah.
Willow Nightingale.
Saraya.
Paige broke.
Other way around.
Oh.
Sasha. Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's a money on the table right there.
Yeah. No, they in real life they are good friends. Like that was the first person Saraya texted when she got the good news that she could come back to wrestling. Like she doesn't hold it against her at all, so they can mine that for a pretty cool story.
Yeah. So you have like a Saraya match, a Britt Baker match, a Thunder Rosa match, and then she goes and maybe takes it off of Mariah May. And that could be at Wembley, depending on
what Mariah's English too, so that'd play.
Yeah, man, look at us. We're talking about the future of the women's division and cool scenarios. What?
No, I'm excited for them. Like, hope next stop, more than one segment on Dynamite.
Maybe. I think this week gets a pass because it was a lot of well-built stuff.
Oh yeah.
So this is a fine week, but we gotta start doing better soon.
Well, they had to cram a lot in after that 30-minute, 35-minute plus match plus,
it's in my
Swerve Hangman.
The Tony Storm match is like 45 minutes into the episode. I was stunned. I was like, oh my gosh. And I guess I never really talked about the match, but my gosh, it was amazing. I'll keep it short, but like I remember just checking it, like, oh, I wonder how long it's been. It's been like 5 minutes, right? It was 20 minutes into this stupid match. It was crazy. So, a match is good when like time is just flying by. That's how it was with the death match.
Yeah,
because I just
timeless Tony Storm, right?
Yeah, no, and like it was so engaging. Like going into this, I was saying time limit draw. I lost track of time. I didn't even think that was a thing. Like they suspended my disbelief to the point where the thing I was expecting, they still got me by surprise because I was like so engrossed I forgot about time, and I'm just watching this like this is amazing. Then all of a sudden that bell goes. I'm like, they did it. They got me.
Yeah. So all in all, fantastic way to start the show. And then obviously the Joe promo. And then we had the Tony Storm Red Velvet match, which I'm going to be honest, I don't think I like these eliminator matches because like
it's the same story, copy and paste.
Just do a championship match. Like these people never win. Red Velvet was never going to win this match. So why would you be like, it's an eliminator match? If she wins, she could go fight whoever wins at Revolution, but they never win. So why?
I have a feeling, however they book it, they're gonna have haters because if they give people championship matches that don't deserve it, people are gonna be like, "Why are they getting the shot?"
That's
Uh,
fair
I
because, people would be like, why is Red Velvet getting a title shot? That makes no sense. There was no build. What?
they have a
Yeah.
ranking system.
Yeah. Okay. You got to keep your rankings solid. That's fair.
Uh,
Anyways. Oh, what?
I do like how no one ever wins the eliminator, but hey, if you do, like you get a straight shot to the top. So,
Be
but yeah,
nice if someone won one of these, I guess is what I'm saying,
Yeah.
I'd like to look that up. I believe it may have happened one or two times in AEW period.
Okay.
Uh, that situation, I'll have to look it up, but uh, yeah. Uh, shoot, yeah, Tony Storm, Red Velvet. Uh, we got Deanna Perrazzo on commentary. I'm gonna lump her in with how I feel about like Adam Cole on commentary. Eh.
Whole lot of
Uh,
nothing.
yeah, I wasn't impressed. Great in the ring, just not great on commentary. Uh, man, Tony Storm with her like old school, like technical, uh, yeah, like it looks like we're watching a match from like the 1940s or something. Uh, yeah, Tony hit a Luthez press on Red Velvet out of nowhere. It looked really badass. I love the old school punches with the wind up. Red Velvet had some punches of her own. Then Velvet hit a series of offense with a standing moonsault and a cover for two. I'm sure you remember, Chad, back when she was having some trouble with that moonsault
Yeah.
in her early AEW days. Yeah, she like missed it like a lot to where I was like, man, like you need to work on that, girl. But no, it looked great. She hadn't hit that, I don't think, since she's been back. Maybe on Rampage, but I've been waiting for it. She hasn't done the moonsault. Um, yeah, Tony Storm hit a DDT to Red Velvet, covered for two. Tony Storm gets Red Velvet in a ankle lock. She looks at Deanna and Red Velvet taps. Tony Storm won't let go, and Deanna Purrazzo gets in the ring. They get in each other's face, but Tony Storm leaves the ring. Yeah, and they remind us about the match at Revolution. Yeah, should be a really incredible match. They, I think they need to tap into that like personal, uh, you know, tattoo. They've known each other forever, kind of stuff. A little more uh, right before we get to that match. Make it really, really personal. Maybe Mariah and Tony jump her or something. I don't know. I think that'd be something. Yeah. What do you guys think?
I really enjoyed it. Like Tony just impresses me. She changes her wrestling style based on the storyline because before she was like, "You want to see technical? I'll show you technical." And she had a whole different style in the ring for this match. Like Velvet looked great off the bat. Her strikes were amazing. But then Tony just all of a sudden she's like, "Hey, I can be Brian Danielson too," and just like does a technical style that I was like, was there anything she can't do? Like, what's she gonna do next? Throw on a mask and do lucha libre? Like, I was super impressed. I thought it was a good match. Red Velvet looked great. Tony looked great and impressed me as always. Like every week where I'm just like okay, like she's funny, she could be serious. Like yeah, just mind blown. How about you, Chandler?
I thought the match was fine. The crowd was very dead after the whole Swerve and Hangman nonsense, so they had to recover at some point. And I wish I'd say this as a Tony mark. I wish there was some more silly nonsense. So you said she was doing her wind up punch. She didn't do her like big, big, big. Well, bam! I love that stupid punch. And then the or like standing on Luther's shoulders. They didn't do any of that. But that's because this is a more serious feud. So Tony's starting to be a more serious wrestler, which is fine. So yeah, and again, I liked the ending of her busting out a submission move and staring at Deanna. I thought that was a good end. And I'm still really looking forward to their match. And this is one of the better built feuds going into Revolution. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoy everything about Tony Storm. I'm torn now. I want it to kind of get serious, and then I guess Chandler, you want a little more goofy, huh?
Well, that's what got
Gotcha.
me in the door,
Yeah.
But she's evolving, which you need to she can't just be nonsense, and she still is nonsense when she's on commentary. So I gotta take it when I can get it.
Yeah. But yeah, good stuff all around. Looking forward to that Revolution match. Revolution in general is shaping up. I'm definitely looking forward to taking that day off and watching that pay-per-view. Cool. Yeah, after that we get Renee Paquette backstage with Orange Cassidy, Trent, and Rocky Romero. Uh, she brings up Orange Cassidy's match against Tomohiro Ishii, which should be freaking incredible. Trent is kind of caught off guard by that match. Like, did he expect to have that title shot? Man, maybe something happened. He won something on Rampage that earned him a shot. I don't know.
Trent was supposed to fight Ishii on Collision, not OC. I don't know. Did you see? They're telling the same Orange Cassidy story again. They're doing it again. It's wear and tear. Because Renee literally looked at him and was like, "You want to talk about it?" It felt like the Young Bucks quote from last week, where she was like, "Darby, can we talk about your admiration for the Young Bucks?" It felt like that, where she was like, "Can we talk about the wear and tear on your body? Because this is the story we're going into with Revolution, but no one knows because no one's watching Rampage."
I think Trent is gonna turn on him.
Oh yeah, that's the story they're telling.
This is coming. I think he might be part of the Undisputed Kingdom.
Ooh,
another hard hitter for that lovely faction. I can't wait. Who's next? Are they gonna bring in just bring in Rocky Romero, the other guy too? Why not?
The Devil Dumpling Gang rides again for sure.
Were they on this show at all?
Yeah, briefly.
Yeah, briefly they beat down Chucky T.
Oh yeah. Okay. I totally spaced that. I think I was like, if it was before Takeshita match, I was scared. If it was after the Takeshita match, I was distracted.
Yeah,
so I missed it.
You're off smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
It was super uneventful. No one said anything. Like, yeah, not good stuff. They've been relegated to a feud with the Best Friends.
Poor Undisputed Kingdom. They're like, man, the Acclaimed and Bullet Club Gold, they're too hot right now. They're too hot for this faction that it hurts my brain, this whole thing. Why has this faction failed so much? They had such good intentions. I was fine with it, but
yeah, the Bang Bang Scissor Gang are too hot.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're just going to be the Spirit Squad.
Well, because you cannot have the United Kingdom lose to them, But if they won, it'd be so flat. People would be like, But hey, if Trent joins, then it can be 6v6. So
Ooh.
there you
Oh
go.
yeah. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Oh yeah. The awkward, weird interactions that Renee has with these guys is
Love it.
just off the charts. It's awkward in the best possible way. Uh, she like I love how Orange Cassidy says, "Oh yeah, she wants to know about Chucky T." He says he's getting checked on, and they're gonna go check on him getting checked on. Renee says she wants to go, but wants everyone to put their hands in, and they all do. Yeah, it's just so awkward and fun and lovable. Uh, you can tell she's having a blast doing her job.
Mhm. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, we'll see where that goes. Trent is gonna turn, and OC is playing the old worn down body game again.
hmm
Uh, uh,
Guys, the invasion has kicked up a notch. I don't know if you guys saw, but it's getting intense.
I'm loving every freaking part of this.
I
Uh,
am too, to be fair, but it's not an invasion. And it's like, I'll just say this real quick. I watched the other podcast that thinks this is an invasion, and they were like, it didn't really feel like an invasion this week. And I was like, you're kidding. No way. I just think it's really funny.
yeah. So we got our 3-man tag match with Hechicero, Volador Jr., and Mascara Dorada versus John Moxley, Brian Danielson, and Claudio. Um, yeah, man, like the way I like think about this, like I'm going back to my WCW brain. This is like when they were introducing the cruiserweight division and all these like crazy Rey Mysterios and whatnot. That'd be like Rey Mysterio, Juventud, uh, Eddie Guerrero having a 3-way match against like Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, and the Macho Man. Like that would have never happened. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're having these matches against the like top guys in the company, which is so cool. Like, yeah, they're not relegating them to like the lower card, like novelty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not feuding with the best friends.
Yeah. Um, so as I say that though, they are having matches against Christopher Daniels and Daddy Magic. Uh,
Hey,
that's the only part I would shuffle. I would flip flop, put some other like bigger names.
I did write down on Collision, it is going to be so the other two guys. So it was 3 guys at ringside, Mystico, and then Star Jr. and Esfinge. They're fighting Mox and Claudio on Collision. So there's a
Oh,
little bit more. That's 2 different guys that we haven't seen yet. At least I haven't seen yet. Fighting Moxley and Claudio again. So
damn. Okay, cool.
mhm.
Starting to heat up then. Neat.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Loving every bit of it. The crowd was super hot for this match. Uh, yeah, at one point, Hechicero got Brian Danielson in the bow and arrow briefly. Just freaking tied him up and like it was nothing. Hechicero does a crucifix roll into a pin on Danielson. Just made Danielson look like a chump. Uh, Dorada chopped Claudio, then Hurricanrana Claudio out of the ring. Volador Jr. topes Moxley and the BCC jump Volador. Then Moxley topes Volador Jr. and Team CMLL jump Moxley. Thought that was a nice little callback. Claudio gets Volador Jr. in the giant swing. Dorada does a twisting Hurricane Rana to Claudio. Like, man, he got that extra twist in there before he. Whoo, unbelievable. I heard that dude's only like 22 or something, also.
Damn.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah. Dorada does a shooting star press on the floor on everyone. The crowd loves it. Hechicera does a spinning hammerlock backbreaker to Danielson. He did the same move in their singles match. Dorada hits a 450 splash on Danielson, covers, but Claudio and Moxley break up the cover. Dorada hits a code red on Claudio. Hechicero does or that guillotine crucifix bomb to Claudio, same thing he did to Danielson in their singles match, covered for 2. And then looks like Claudio low blows Hechicero after a ref bump, covers, and gets the win. All the CMLL guys surround the BCC. Daddy Magic, Angelo Parker, Christopher Daniels, and Matt Seidel come out to even the odds. Yeah. Did you guys notice Daddy Magic and Volador Jr. look like they're twin brothers?
I didn't notice it at the time, but now that you say that, I'm just putting them together and I'm like, oh yeah, they are. Like one's Canadian, one's Mexican, but yeah.
Did you catch that in Mox's promo on Collision? It's like, oh, I thought that was Daddy Magic. Like,
I did.
Oh, that's funny.
yep. Cool stuff. But yeah, man, love it. I am into CMLL more than AAA, more than I ever was with AAA. Like AAA, who? Like, what do we got from there? I guess Vikingo, I really like.
But he hasn't been
Is
able to do much. He's only been in like a few, aside from the one Omega match, which I haven't seen, but we're just gonna take that away. What has he done other than be in like multi-man matches
Yeah.
or tag matches,
right.
with
He's
Commander
doing a
or
lot of
Penta?
Ring of Honor stuff too.
Yeah. So
He was in TNA not that long ago too on one of their pay-per-views. But
but
yeah,
these
like I can't.
I was just
Is
gonna say these
Commander?
CMLL guys feel like main
Yeah.
eventers, but what were you gonna say about Commander?
Is he AEW or
I think
I can't remember if he was.
I want to say he's a AAA champion, like he's their cruiserweight champion or something like that.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, like all of a sudden, man, like yeah, CMLL showed up and they're really turning heads. So
I
yeah,
think
love.
you might have said this last week, Dave or Chad, but one of you might have said this is setting up to like a CMLL Forbidden Door. And that is what I kind of got from this. Like, sure, it's a
Mexico
little,
City.
yeah, sure, it's a little early, but instead of like, you keep Forbidden Door as the New Japan one exclusively, and maybe for that Wrestle Dream thing you were talking about, right in between Revolution and Double or Nothing, it's I don't know, Lucha Mania or Lucha Extravaganza, and they go down to Mexico or have a bunch of CMLL guys come up, and it's AEW and CMLL. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Damn.
Lucha is not always my favorite style, but damn, these guys really impress me.
Yeah. Due to the tense stakes of the semi-main for me, I was like, when like 5 minutes in, I was like, I don't have time for Lucha. Can you guys hurry up? Because I was just like so scared. And then these guys are so good. Of course, I got into this match. How could you not? Like, I think it was that rolling crucifix leg pin that he was doing. I was like, stop doing these stupid things. Like, you're not real.
Yeah.
And then it's such a weird thing, but that Volador Jr. guy, I loved his smile. Like, he looked like he was having a blast. Like, he's like, I'm on mainstream television right now. I'm doing all these cool moves. Like, I was thinking, like, just what we were talking about, or just in this podcast, like, if John Cena worked a match and he was smiling the whole time, it feels sincere, or it would feel insincere. And this is coming from a big John Cena fan. But this random guy, he's like having the blast, and it's awesome. And yeah, just setting up more matches with these guys. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, let's see. Should be fun little invasion. Yeah, I can't wait to see when BCC show up in their promotion. It'll be a bloodbath.
Remember Wheeler Yuta? Isn't he supposed to be a part of this? What's he up to?
It seems like something happened.
What if like on Ring of Honor he got like kicked out and nobody knew because nobody watches it? But like, what if he fully just got kicked out and nobody knows?
Right? Yeah, poor guy. Maybe he'll be back one day.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see. After that, we get notification that there's a ruckus in the back. They rush to the back, and Chuck E. T's getting jumped by the Undisputed Kingdom. Yeah, they don't really say anything. They don't tell us what their motivation is. They just kind of show Adam Cole looking like an asshole. uh, yeah, don't got much about that. But after that, we get Tony Khan's big announcement. Yeah, we're getting a special episode of Dynamite, Big Business in at the TD Garden in Boston, March 13th. Um, Undoubtedly, that'll be Mercedes Moné's debut. Uh, Word on the street, she's been signed for over a month.
Yeah, I
So
heard she's been getting paid since January, so good for her.
Cool.
yeah, yeah, great, really great for her. Like, I hope he made her some kind of deal. Like, hey, we're taking the women's division to new heights. Like, you're part of it. Like, maybe she's gonna be a big part of like taking charge in that, is maybe behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Uh, Maybe booking. Uh, who
That'd be
knows?
cool.
I think that could really help out. Like, that was Kenny Omega's job, right? He booked the women's
Yeah,
division for a
right off the
long
hop.
time.
Yeah, that's
Huh.
like, yeah, he was really trying to promote, like Riho, who he worked with a lot in Japan, and
Cheetah.
yeah, Amy Sakumura.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
My only
Sakura.
my
Sakura.
only
That's it.
my only concern is like Mercedes Moné, she's still quite young. She still feels like she's in the prime of her career. I don't know. And I don't think I've ever heard of her expressing an interest in booking, but maybe, like again, I think she's just gonna Ronda Rousey this women's division. Best case scenario,
Yeah,
just say, hey, you're gonna start taking it seriously because I'm here. And if not, then I'm gonna walk. Like,
I've done it before.
uh-huh.
Yeah, maybe part of the deal might have been like, hey, Rampage is turning into the women's show, and you're like Punk's was Collision. This is your thing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be really cool. Um, yeah, like, what do you two think about which one's better? Having the women completely separate on their own show? How would you prefer it? What would make more sense? Would they still have women like sprinkled in to Dynamite and Collision,
Oh, you
or
gotta.
would it
Yeah, I would
like,
I would
oh,
just have it. I'm saying you have the women's show because it's nothing feels like it's going to change right now on Dynamite and Collision and Rampage, where we just have one segment. That's the only reason why I would say, F it, just do the women's show because you're not doing it. But I would rather just have it be integrated. Like, you don't have to have it be a 50-50 split. Just tell better stories, tell more
Yep.
stories. Like, have one match on the pay-per-view between the women that isn't for a title. Do that.
mhm.
Yeah, drop some. Like, there's a lot of segments. At least most shows, there's at least one segment per show where it was like this could have went to another women's match because this is pointless. Like most Chris Jericho segments.
Not this one. This is
Not this one.
5-star match of the year. We might as well just get onto it unless anyone else has something else to say because this is monumental.
Yeah, man, Chris Jericho versus Konosuke Takeshita. Uh,
Oh,
yeah, man. What a weird match, I'll have
it
to
was
say.
okay. Like I wrote a lot of notes for that, but I just think I love Takeshita so much. Anything he does, I'm like, that's the coolest thing ever. So
He was not on point. A
I I
little
did
clunky.
I did write. Isn't it interesting that the worst Takeshita I've ever seen is in a Jericho match? Isn't that
Yeah, I
interesting?
think part of it was just Jericho can't keep up.
Ooh, yeah, that
Like, I
makes
just
sense.
too old, too slow. Like, yeah, I think just Takesha couldn't really work with him. Like I don't think Jericho could properly take half those bumps, and I think he was kind of part of the reason why it was sort of sloppy, kind of botchy looking.
Well, that's the same thing. Well, take it with that Kyle Fletcher match too, right? My favorite parts of it was
Yep.
Kyle Fletcher, and a lot of the moves just looked a little bad, and it's like, I liked Kyle Fletcher in that, and this match was like, I liked Takeshita, but my God, the ending, I was saying like the only way you could do it is have Takeshita just knee Jericho's head off in 5 seconds, and like you don't
Better. This is
pin,
better.
he just knees the head off. Oh my God, I could not have
Blew that
predicted
out of the
this.
water. They blew it
Yeah,
out of the water.
yeah.
So yeah, Jericho started off pretty strong,
Too
which
strong.
got me worried. I was like, oh no, here we go again.
I told Chad
Did you
I
feel
was
that
wa-
way?
I was watching it like this. I was like, "Oh God, no, no!" And like he would get any movement. I'm like, "Oh!" And then like Hobbs would get involved. I'm like, "Okay, yeah, yeah, like whatever." And then like Guevara would come out, like, "No, no!" So like I was on the edge of my seat for this. Like it's so stupid how this Brown, like he comes out with the Brown note. This evil Don Callis is this manager, and yet I'm like, oh, he's the biggest baby face in the biz right now. And Jericho is like this veteran who's trying to, and I'm like, oh, he's the heel. He's such a heel. So it's bizarro. I'm like Canada.
Oh man, Jericho ended up knocking Takeshita out of the ring, and Don Callis slapped the shit out of Takeshita. Did not see that coming.
Oh, I was on Don
Don was
Callis'
mad.
side. I was like, what's up, Takeshita? This isn't no again. I'm right there with them. I'm like, what's going on, man?
Takeshita does a sheer drop brainbuster to Jericho on the floor. Uh, man, the crowd was dead for this match. Like any offense that Jericho got was silent.
I
Uh,
at least further on, whenever Takeshi would do something, I think it's just he's so impressive that they're like, "Whoa, damn!"
yeah.
So
At one point, Hobbs grabbed Jericho's leg, and Guevara comes out, hits Hobbs with a chair in the back and the head, and they go to the back. Jericho jumps on Takeshita from the steel steps with his mask, and the crowd was literally silent after he hit that. Like
yeah,
nothing.
that was cringe.
Crickets.
Yeah,
Crickets. I was just like, oh man, this is bad. Uh, I got let's see. Jericho misses his lion salt. Takeshita got his knees up. Uh, got written down here really clunky match that uh, suplex was bad. Uh, Takeshita hits a beautiful blue thunder bomb to Jericho for a 2 count. Takeshita blocked the Judas effect at one point. Takeshita hit a really scary avalanche blue thunder bomb. Jericho landed really bad on his head, like not
Yeah,
on
his
his
head
head,
had a pretty good whiplash to it, just snap.
yeah.
dude. Yeah, we got a cover for 2. Jericho got Takeshita in the walls of Jericho. Don Callis slides a chair in the ring. The ref gets distracted dealing with the chair, and Don Callis hits Jericho with a screwdriver. Takeshita gets Jericho in the walls of Jericho. Then transitions to the Lion Tamer, and Jericho taps to his own move. Dude,
Beautiful. 5 stars.
I got up and clapped. I just
I
stood
did.
up and I
Uh-huh.
was so happy. Like, man, they did it. They
Ding
did what they
dong.
needed to do.
The witch is dead unless he comes back and gets his win back. But oh my god. Again, this match, like now that you're talking about it, I'm like, oh, this match wasn't good. But because I was like, everything Takeshita does, I'm like, we're so close. One more, and you can do it. So this was real to me. It's still real to me, damn it. We don't need to talk about the fact that when it's Kenny Omega, Takeshita can do it all by himself. But when it's Jericho, he needs Don Callis' help. We don't need to talk about that because that's just nitpicking. Oh my god! I'll even give Jericho his credit when he like passed out and then woke back up. I was like, ah! I thought that was really good. That was like not just ooh bad Jericho. That was just really good. And then Takeshita pinning him with his own move. I don't even care if this leads to something or doesn't. That's enough. You satiated me. So you get Jericho, you're off the hook for now. Until the next thing that you do that sucks, you're off the hook for now.
Yeah, all in all, Chandler's eating well this week. He got his Cody match. He got his win.
Cody stocks up. Takeshita stocks up.
He's still on the podcast.
Up.
He hasn't thrown in the towel.
I'm not quitting yet.
One thing we didn't mention was during Sammy's little run in, me and Chandler talking about it, the unprotected chair shot
to the head. Yeah,
dude.
I know AEW is a bit different. They're the alternative, and I like that. But let's not hit people in the head with chairs. Like, just no. That, like, hit him in the stomach. That, like...
Was that a botch?
What?
Was it a botch?
No, he kept his hands down on purpose. Like, he could have easily got them up.
He went for, like, I don't think it was a botch.
Man, who... Was it Guevara who, like, threw the chair at Matt Hardy early on and bloodied him by accident?
That
You should
was
look
just
at that,
a rough
Chandler.
month of exchanges between those two. Like, they damn near injured each other a few times.
Because that's
the pay-per-view, Guevara knocked him off the crane on the concrete floor.
I haven't heard of that, and I don't want to watch it because everyone's like, yeah, they should have just ended the match, and they didn't. So
it was Aubrey. Aubrey was on ref duty on that one.
Yeah, probably would have ended that, brother. But hey, I'm no ref. But yeah, now that we're talking about it, crap match, and of course, I would love this to lead to something for Takeshita, but I don't know what. Like, okay, world title, bit busy right now. TNT title, bit busy because you either have Daniel Garcia or Copeland. International title, Roderick Strong is most likely going to win it. And it wouldn't really make sense to do heel versus heel faction, so not that. Continental Crown, well, he's kind of doing something with Bryan Danielson, so unless he beats him pretty convincingly, no. Tag titles, no, that's pretty caught up with the Young Bucks. Trios titles, no. So unless he's winning a Ring of Honor title,
there's what I was going to say.
There's not a lot that Takeshita can do right now, but they could put him in a good feud with someone. Like, that'd be fun.
Or have him start climbing the rankings. Like, they could just tell that story for a few months until some of these other stories play out. Then he could be the next in line.
Yeah.
Yeah, feed him some jobbers.
Feed him some main eventers. Like, I don't care. I want Takeshita versus the entire BCC by himself, and he beats them all. Like, okay. You ever heard of Hardcore Holly booking?
Oh, of course.
Dave, do you know about it?
I've never heard that term before.
So I want Takeshita on Hardcore Holly booking, which is you go and it's like, all right, what's your play? It's like, oh, I beat them all, and I win the championship. And then it's like, well, then what? And it's like, well, I beat them all again. That's what I want for Takeshita right now. He beats everyone, he wins the champion, and then he beats them all again.
Could there be some dissent because of that slap from Don Callis?
If this is even leading to like a Takeshita face turn, I'm fine with it. The only problem is like I don't know if Takeshita can cut a promo. I don't know if he can. I don't even know if he can speak English. So that's why I'm honestly fine with. I like Don Callis still. I think he's a nice pantomime heel manager. So he kind of needs a mouthpiece. So unless he has another mouthpiece, I don't know any right now. So maybe CJ Perry. And then you do like, oh, but then it'd be Takeshita and Miro doesn't take losses. So maybe not.
Man,
Maybe not.
that would be if Miro put over Takeshita, I think that would be very meaningful.
Yeah.
I'd love it. Has Miro
And that
lost
could
in
have an impact.
AEW yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, Takeshita's great. Give him a little run here. Let him get some wins and uh keep us occupied with a cool match here and there until, or give us a really great storyline. That'd be great too.
You know who else is
Um,
great? It's Sting.
yeah, I got my little dream come true here. Yeah, our main event, AEW World Tag Team Championship match. Ricky Starks and Big Bill defending against Sting and Darby Allin. Uh, yeah, it was cool. Sting's sons were there. We talked about that in the front row. Sting and Darby get on the attack early. At one point, Sting jumped off the balcony on top of Ricky Starks and Big Bill. Like, God, I can't believe it.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
I
I was thinking of
popped
you during
hard.
that shot because he was like up there for a while, and I was getting
Yeah.
serious flashbacks to when the Crow Sting was first coming out, and he just hang out in the rafters in the WCW arenas.
Yeah.
I was like, is this a nod to that? Because I had like serious vibes. I was like, I bet you Dave's marking out so hard right now.
I bet it was a
Dude.
really good shot, and it wasn't like focusing on him, so you had to look, and you're like, "Oh shit,
Yeah,
that's Sting up there."
that's hey, it's another guy dressed like Sting. No, that's Sting.
Nope.
Uh, yeah, real quick too, they have a new T-shirt where it's old Sting and new, or
Yeah,
older
current.
Sting, and yeah, a split face T-shirt. Yeah, I really want it. I should get it. But yeah, after that big balcony dive, Big Bill clothesline Sting on the outside. Then man, I really love this. Big Bill catches Darby mid dive into a beautiful big boss man slam. Oh my god,
That like the best boss man slam ever?
ever,
Like
ever.
that was beautiful. I had to go back and watch it, and then they're like, "Oh, we got a replay coming." I was like, "Yeah, please. I could use another. I could see that again."
Dude, unbelievable.
Where was this guy in WWE? I know he got better, but like, really? Where were you? Where were you for the Daniel Bryan feud? Why were you beating up a little person for real? Like,
Yeah, I'm impressed. Uh, let's see here. Big Bill smashes Darby's head in the mat over and over and over, and then throws him across the ring. Ricky Starks does a scorpion death drop to Sting, covers, gets a 2 count. Big Bill gets 2 stinger splashes and a code red by Darby Allin. Ricky Starks pulls off the turnbuckle pad as Sting goes for a stinger splash. Then spears Sting, covers for a 2 count. Sting no sells and hits a scorpion death drop on Ricky Starks. Covers, gets the 1, 2, 3, and new AEW World Tag Team Champions. Wow. Yeah, what a moment. We got the confetti. We got uh, the music playing. Him and Darby look really happy. His sons are coming. Uh, And what do you know? We got the damn Young Bucks, Matthew and Nicholas. Matthew Lee, what was his name? Ron John.
Ron John. Oh, Lee and
Uh,
Ron John Jackson here.
they come out and attack with bats. They are wearing white suits, and Darby and Sting get bloodied and they get covered in blood. Then they hit what they now call the EVP trigger, no longer the BTE trigger. Woo! I love that. They hold up the belts and throw them on Sting and Darby. Yeah, it's on now. Got that old school heel vibe from it. I've been slowly getting into their new character little by little. Last week I liked it even more. Yeah, they took it to another level. Loving it. That
them
imagery with the bloody.
Yeah,
Just
them
can't
bringing
have
that
'em win.
physicality. Whew, yeah, that sold it for me. I was just like, man, I hope they get good. I hope. Oh no, this did it. Like instant heat.
Yeah. I don't know. For this match, I'm gonna talk about the match because I thought this match was awesome. My goodness. I know I was saying it for a while that I didn't want Ricky Starks and Big Bo to win, and like immediately Starks was kissing his belt, and I was like, ah man. So I kind of knew, but this match still delivered and then some. I love Ricky Starks, I think most of all in this match, but and Sting, because Sting is just awesome. But I just loved that ending little bit where it's Sting and Starks looking down each other. And I just love how smooth Starks pulled off the cover on the ring apron, and he's sitting on the other side and he's hesitating because he's like, am I gonna really, like, I can't beat Sting. Like, come on. It's like putting your grandpa down. And then as soon as Sting is like, and he's like powering up, I just thought that was so great. And Starks is like, well, I gotta, and he spears him and he kicks out. And then he like goes for another spear, and like Sting just immediately catches him and drops them.
Slick.
I think like the only thing I would have changed about the match is I would have had Starks kick out, but like obviously he was done, right? Like give Starks a little itty bitty bit more because he always seems to lose these big feuds, but it was still a fantastic match. So I was a big fan of it. And then I don't know, this is just me. The heels, or not the heels, the Young Bucks still feel like goobers. And so the vision or the visual of the blood on the white suits, very striking, very good. If you had just like lights cut out and like, oh no, what happened? Boom, they're covered in blood. I would have said perfect segment. But it took too long and it felt like Darby bladed. And then they just went and went like, oh, we got to get all this blood on ourselves. Oh, let me just, here we go. Ooh, the heat, brother. Think of the heat, brother. So it's like, for me, it didn't work in that sense because it felt a little cheesy, like just a little bit. But the visual was excellent. I'll give you that. So, and again, I think I said this offline. I don't know if I said it. Renaming the BTE trigger, brilliant. It's the best thing they've done in this rechange. I was like, well, what's next? They got to change the Meltzer driver to like the Jackson driver or something like that. Like just all egotistical. So yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to this feud, and I do not want the Bucks to win, but I think they will.
No. Really? You think Sting's gonna be the traditional go out on his back?
I think so, which just makes me sad because I don't want it, but I think that's the case. What would you two rather have? Would you rather have Sting and Darby retired undefeated as champs, and then Sting and Darby just have to find a new partner, or they have to relinquish them, or do you have the Bucks win?
I'm interested to see what Dave has to say because he is my Sting #1 guy.
I want Sting and Darby to win and relinquish. I'm trying to think, like it wouldn't make sense to me, like to go out like that. This is the last match of his career. Why would you do that? Like
Mhm.
what the Bucks don't need the belts. They don't need
Yeah,
to
they
be
don't.
put over.
Yeah, they don't need the rub.
Yeah, I think if it was like I don't know if it was like I think I was pitching a long time ago like oh if you did Takeshita and Hobbs and you really pushed them to the moon as killers like just killers in this tag division they run rampant I think that would be fine if you did like Starks and Big Bill you were
Yeah.
just pushing them to the moon I think that's fine because those are guys that need something the Young Bucks don't they already this end to the Dynamite was there something they were selling on commentary they'll never ever be able to come back so there's your reprehensible thing there's your visual that people will remember for years to come I don't think they need to beat Sting here to keep their heat I think they could just cut a heel promo beat up some more bad guys and they'd be fine
I think they should basically injure Darby Allin, but he can still compete.
mm-hmm.
And Sting has to do most of the work, and they have to overcome that. And that makes the match even more meaningful when they win it.
I
I think
hope
that'd be the
so
way.
I really do think Sting should retire. If they're telling this story of they're undefeated, they should retire undefeated. Because I think I could be wrong. If they beat the Bucks, they end at 30-0. So that's a
Yeah.
real nice round number. Undertaker got to win on or got to retire on a win. So there is precedence for this kind of thing. So and I was thinking about this the other day. Like, what are some classic retirement stories, or just the only retirement stories I know? And I could think of Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels, and Kurt Angle. This isn't as bad as Kurt Angle, so I'm not nowhere near. I'm actually intrigued that like that was bad, and this isn't the build of Shawn Michaels, and I don't think you have the emotion with Ric Flair. So
Flair never retired.
I'm okay. We're just looking at WrestleMania 24 here because they thought they sold that as retirement.
Yeah.
So that's just what I'm
That was
going
an
off of.
excellent match.
Again, kayfabe brother, that was Ric Flair's retirement. They're also not really selling that either. Because that was Shawn Michaels didn't want to put down Ric Flair, but he had to because it was the match, blah, blah, blah. And that's not the story they're telling with this. But it is. So I can't imagine the Bucks being teary-eyed and then hitting the EVP trigger. Like, they wouldn't do that.
No.
So, but it would just be super dissatisfying if you ended Sting's career on these punks, pardon my language, these young punks beating Sting. So I don't know.
Yeah, and AEW is really more of a face-centric company. Like they like their happy endings, and they're definitely not putting people down in their hometown or on their birthdays, crap like that. They like giving us the good feels. So I kind of Tony Khan's had some bumpy booking along the way over the past year, but I think he'll do this one right.
I hope so. I think it'd be a nice feel-good win. Because then, if they lose, how do you do the Ric Flair match?
True. Yeah, they're not going to send a sold out Bojangles Coliseum.
Greensboro.
Or isn't it the Bojangles Coliseum
Yeah.
though? The arena. It's
Okay.
Greensboro. Yeah.
I'll trust you. I'll trust you.
Yeah, Greensboro's the city. Bojangles is the venue.
I thought, for some reason, I thought they were calling it the Greensboro Coliseum, but I'll take your word for it.
No, is it not Bojangles?
I think it is.
I'll take your word for it. I'll look it up real quick.
But they're not sending those people home with Sting losing. They're not doing that. There's no way. I don't know. What I would want would maybe be, dude, let's overbook this damn thing and get run-ins from Goldberg, Diamond Dallas Page,
RoboCop.
RoboCop.
So this is saying it's in the Greensboro Coliseum in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Okay. I don't know where I got Bojangles from. Where's that?
I don't know. So I'm looking at Revolution on Wikipedia, which I know isn't great, but it is saying, yeah, it's at the Greensboro Coliseum in Greensboro. Or Greensboro, sorry. I don't know. Anything else about the show, guys, or we want to get into highs and lows? Because I think that's about it, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Bojangles Coliseum is a different place. Cool. Yeah. Let's see. Highs and lows.
I'll start. My high should be obvious. It's the best. I think we've already hit the best ending of any match in 2024. Takeshita tapping out Jericho with his own move. Personally, for me, I marked out, bro. I marked out. And my low point, it's in the same exact match. It is the unprotected chair shot to poor Will Hobbs' head. Just let's not do that, please. I know you only did it once. It could have been a glancing blow. I don't care. Do what WWE does and just shove it into their gut. Like, I'd believe that. Like, no matter what, any big guy you shove a steel chair to their gut, they're gonna buckle over. So
Yeah.
that's what I would prefer.
I did notice too, like we don't even know like if Hobbs was okay after that. They just kind
Yeah,
of
they just kind
scurried
of
away.
dropped.
Mm-hmm. So yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. Cool. I guess my high point definitely Sting holding that belt. God, like apparently he adamantly did not want to win uh a title, but they just kind of, just what happened, and he smiled. He was happy. Like
Maybe it was a bit of like, because these poor tag titles, like we want to go back the whole way of Ricky Starks and Big Bill's run. They're the longest reigning transitional champions of all time, probably, because they squashed FTR way back when, and then it was, that's to lead to like the Young Bucks or something, right? Because the Young Bucks won that Wrestle Dream tag team, whatever. And then they retained it Full Gear, which is when Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho took it. And then Kenny Omega got diverticulitis, so he's out. And then Sammy Guevara's in. And then the allegations started, which seemed to be false, but still affected his popularity. And just Jericho's kind of like, he's running out of steam. So that was affecting his popularity. So it was probably going to be Jericho and Guevara take the titles. Okay, well, now we can't put it on them anymore. So then it was like, well, what do we do with these stupid tag titles? And I'm sure, maybe the Bucks or Sting were like, well, let's just put them on Sting. Like,
Yeah.
why not? Like, that's kind of would be satisfying right now. So,
yeah, it was for me, man. Uh, yeah, I guess that'd be my high point. Low point was the pointless Chuck E.T. beatdown.
Yeah, that was mine too, actually.
doesn't that add fuel to the fire for the UK best friends feud? We're
Man,
obviously
I
getting
mean,
to Anarchy in the Arena. That's coming up. Oh, that would be a lame Anarchy in the Arena match.
blood and guts.
What if that's the CMLL thing?
That would be dope.
Ooh,
ACC versus
okay.
CMLL. We didn't even think about that. That is actually okay.
Damn, what time? Let me see. What time of the year is blood and guts? I always forget because I think they've changed it around. Honestly,
I don't. Again, I wasn't watching last year, but they did the BCC Elite feud in Blood and Guts, so it's got to be pretty
Mhm.
early, right?
uh, wow, we got one blood and guts with William Regal.
Yeah.
yelling it. It was July 19th, 2023.
Ooh, Forbidden Door is closer. So never mind.
Maybe they could do that at Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, Chad, you had the same low point.
Yeah, that was my low point too. It just to me, it felt like they needed to either focus on it more and tell more of a story, or just cut it out altogether. It was just too brief, and it felt just really disjointed. Like it kind of pulled me out of the show for a minute. Just I don't know. I just thought it was kind of bad narrative. Like, oh hey, this thing happened. Okay, now we're off to the next thing. I was like, I feel like there needed to be more like story advancement or something, not just like, oh yeah, well, duh. Then of course my high point for me wasn't anything specific. I just put down like making Dynamite feel must see again. Like it felt like an important event where for a while it almost kind of felt like oh Raw rolls on. Like it was just, oh, here's another episode, maybe something cool will happen. Where this one, like I was just glued to the TV the whole time. So yeah, good job. I hope they keep that momentum up.
One thing I will say about this build to Revolution is almost every single build to a match that we know of has been great. Like Tony Storm, Gianna Perrazzo, loving it. Triple Threat, loving it. Really starting to like the tag team one with the Bucks, even though they might win. Like I'm still really enjoying it. Sting got to win a title. That's great. The OC Roderick Strong, I've been saying it since it started. It sucked. You don't have the baby face go, let's fight right now after the match, and then the heel turns him down. You don't do that. Well, that's just dumb.
True. All right, AEW got 805,000 viewers on Dynamite. A 0.28 in the 18 to 49 demo. All right, man. Yeah, that's still pretty low. I mean, that's kind of their average now, which it's not bad though. That's the thing. It's not bad.
Yeah,
No,
Like they're
Warner Brothers is pretty
outperforming.
happy with it.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's still one of the best things on Wednesday night, because I don't know if you guys know this. I'm sure you do. Cable TV's kind of dead all around, so I'm sure they're fine.
Probably but does better than Young Sheldon.
No, nothing does better than Young Sheldon. I'm quitting this podcast. We do not have Young Sheldon slander.
Oh man. Oh, John Morrison and Taya Valkyrie are getting a romantic comedy show on AEW's YouTube channel.
I'll
Good for
watch
A
it.
them.
little
I'll watch it.
reality show.
Good for them. What about
man?
Oh,
Just gonna say, what happened to AEW All Access? That just disappeared.
I heard
Yeah.
it sucked. I never watched it, but I
Watched one episode, the first one, and it really did not do much for me.
didn't they kind of sell it as like AEW behind the scenes, and they had like I don't know, I didn't watch it, but they had like some really awkward sit down between Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa. Did that happen? Or
Yeah. Jade Cargill and like, man, I can't remember who had a little sit down in one of them, and I don't know. I'm thinking of Roads to the Top. That was the
Oh yeah.
predecessor. Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, I think they should give it another shot. Like, can anyone capture the like popularity of the Divas show? Like, how could that be done
Total
today?
Divas? Oh
Like,
my gosh. Ugh, what about QTD? When's that coming back? QT Marshall said he was going to do big things on AEW. I'm still waiting. Do we got any news? Because the only one I know, I feel like the press conference I just talked about at the beginning, that covers all the WWE news, because all the WWE news has been like, Cody didn't know, Seth Rollins did know, Rock knew 8 years ago. Like, it's kind of, I've been keeping track of all of it, And let me just tell you, it's all nonsense.
Yeah,
So that's
it's a
why
working shoot that shot the work.
now that they've at least said on TV we're doing Cody Roman and they had a picture, I'm fine. I'm peaceful. So I don't think there's much in the way of WWE news, except for they're like teasing some Japanese star on NXT. So that might be Kazuchika Okada. I think
Is it for sure Japanese? Was that
they
like a proverb that
yes,
they?
it was literally a proverb. It's one about the Japanese say you have three faces, the one you show to the world, the one you show to the family, and the third one that you only show yourself. That was basically it. Was like on their pay-per-view on Sunday, they just had a promo that was that, and then they didn't say anything. They didn't tease an initial or anything. I would laugh my ass off if Okada went to NXT. I think that would be the funniest thing WWE did since they sent Daniel Bryan to NXT. I think that would be the biggest banter, but it would also be horrible. But I'm all for it. Also, a lot of people are kind of thinking Julia from Stardom, and also a lot of people are like, you shouldn't send Julia to NXT. So, but that's
She belongs there more than Okada.
well, yeah, because Okada is like the greatest guy. One of the
He's the
what
Japanese Hulk Hogan, basically.
but he can wrestle, but
Yeah.
he can have a good match. He can have a fantastic match.
Mhm.
So I heard I don't know if he was fired or quit, but the president of TNA was
Oh
like
yeah, yeah.
shockingly.
Scott Demore. Yeah, yeah. I read all about that. That was a weird one. They were kind of blaming it on like corporate synergy, but this is like the guy that essentially resurrected TNA from the dead after Hogan and Bischoff and Russo tried to kill it.
Yeah, I don't know why, but it seems like
Yeah,
TNA is on a little bit of a tear. It's not great to fire their or have their president fired. So I
yeah,
hope everything is okay. I hope the ship can still be cleared.
yeah. They're trying to push corporate restructuring, but it doesn't make much sense either way. So there's something else going on there, but I don't will ever know why.
They're actually allowing any talent to get out of their contract because of it too.
Really? Huh.
Mhm. Yep. Yeah, that was announced today. Uh, Moose is pretty pissed because he was a Scott Demore guy, 100%. Like he credits him with basically his entire TNA career. So yeah, he's pretty upset. Like I could see him maybe leaving.
Wow. Maybe they'll put the title back on Alex Shelley because I know they're doing that match at the next pay-per-view. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Jordan Grace was really close to Scott Demore.
really
A lot of the locker room, honestly. So yeah,
perfect timing
well,
for Jordan Grace to have just been in that Rumble and just
Right?
got a great reception. Like, oh yeah, just go right back. Like she was better than half the people that worked there.
yeah, 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 not too much else going on. Um, yeah, we're trucking towards 250 subscribers, ticking away at it. Yeah, yeah, we're getting there. Uh,
We'll sure do something. Have we figured it out yet, or are we still brainstorming?
There's a lot of storms going on in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I don't know.
Okay.
I think we should
uh,
drive up to the wrestling school you found and see if they'll let us film us getting chopped. That'd be hilarious.
yep, yeah, I think that'd be the way to go. Uh,
What if we
yeah,
all take a
yeah, yeah.
tack bump?
Ooh.
Fat or flat backdrop onto thumbtacks for 250 subs. Thanks, guys.
I
That's a
feel
Yeah,
I
nod.
feel like that's more of a 1,000 sub kind of thing.
No,
yeah,
I'm never
yeah.
doing that. I
That's
think tax might be my least favorite thing in wrestling. Because I remember the one time they were in WWE in like 2016 when Jericho took him, and like him telling about it afterwards, he pulled like 68 out and then he sat down and there was one more right up his ass. So like, I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
That's a no for me,
Uh,
brother.
yeah, we'll think of something good. Uh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think we should save the chopping for like maybe a higher number.
Or like I like it as a punishment for losing prediction.
Yeah,
I
that's a
like
good
that
one
one.
too.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Uh, yeah. We'll think of something good that people want to watch. Maybe make us in agony a little bit.
Hey, it's been a few months. Maybe I'll eat something spicy again. One thing, not three things. One thing.
But we each order. Man, that stuff sucks.
I'd have to come to your house, Chad, and get a little bag of it because I'm not
Uh,
buying that.
uh,
After the peanuts, wasn't that bad.
Really weird.
maybe what if we all got a bottle of the last dab?
Ooh, I love the
That
last
stuff's
dab.
good.
I've never
You know
heard
what I'm
of
talking
that.
about?
Mm-mm.
You know the show, the Hot Wing show, right? The First We
The,
Feast with
the hot ones.
celebrities.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's the hottest level that they have.
Yeah,
Okay.
so, this is about 130,000 Scoville. The last dab's about 2 million. But
Okay.
weirdly enough, easier to
Tastes good.
take, tastes way better. This
Okay.
It
stuff's
tastes
just vile.
delicious.
How about
Yep.
250 subs? We'll all eat a chip, a wing, whatever we can get our hands on with the last dab. I like that.
Uh, yeah, yeah. It's not like outrageously expensive either. Uh,
In
but yeah,
fact,
yeah.
I think I got a bunch of points left over for my subscription when I was on that. I might actually be able to get a couple bottles for free.
Ooh. Well, I'd still be willing to buy it just in case you can't, but I really like that idea. I think it'll work.
Yeah, it tastes good. The bomb is vile. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing redeeming. There's no good flavor of any pepper. Like peppers taste good. Like even the hot ones have a good taste.
It just tastes
Uh,
like a bomb.
yeah, it's like synthetic like Scoville juice, basically.
Gross.
Uh,
Gross,
but,
gross, gross.
but yeah, I like that. Let's maybe think about the last dab. Uh, I can do some vegan wings, and you guys can do some real ones. And uh,
Yeah, tortilla chips work fine too.
ah, yeah, less messy, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, cool. Yeah, I think that'll be fun. Yeah, I can't really think of anything else to cover. I think that might about do it. You guys have anything else?
I think I've shot my load for the night.
What a fresh
Yeah.
start and a new refreshing feeling we've got. I'm being a prick, but this AEW Dynamite was great, and I'm unironically looking forward to Revolution, which is what we should be doing. So
Yeah, it's nice to
Oh,
just be a good fan for a change.
what do we have for Collision? Did you write that down this week,
there's two things
Chandler?
again, like last
Yeah.
week, but it's the Star Junior and Effinge. Sorry if I respond or say that wrong. Versus Moxley and Claudio, and then Ishii
Uh,
versus Orange Cassidy. That's it.
I'd say I do like the WCW like raw feel of Collision, where like a match that was not even announced like materializes out of nowhere, like the hook match.
Yeah,
Couple others have occurred like that. I like that. Like I like the old feel of a show where like you'd start the show off and like uh someone cuts a promo and they like make a match for the main event from that opening segment. You know what I mean? Like I like that format.
Yeah.
Sure.
Nitro never had anything to tease back in the day. You never
Nope,
knew
they
what the
didn't need
show
to.
was going to be.
Yep, I think that might be the key, man.
Well, because
Uh,
you always start off your opening segment with, okay, let's get this main event figured out. That's how a lot of Raws start, is like,
Yeah.
you suck. All right, I'll talk about it. The main event tonight. So,
yep. And then they get the graphic booked, official. Yeah, I like that format. I think that could work very well. Uh, but anyway, uh, yeah, looking forward to watching Collision, and that just about does it. I'd like to thank everyone out there. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We really enjoy doing this, and we want to do this for a living one day.
Yeah.
Um, cool. Yeah. Don't forget to like and check us out on the audio realm.
Yeah. Where
We're
all
all
major podcasts are found. So if you have a hard time sitting through a YouTube video, you can throw us on in the car while you commute,
yeah, yeah,
fall
yeah.
asleep to my
Um,
dulcet tones.
Ooh. And then make sure to check
um,
out our short form content too. We've made plenty of top fives. We're going to start making some history of videos. So check those out as well. Not just the podcasts. We got some top 5 goofiest moments, top 5 beautiful belts, top 5 wrestlers who've done face paints. And then I've done some more topical ones. Like I just did top 5 potential surprise Royal Rumble entrants. I got a few right. So check them out. Watch them all. Watch more
I was
content.
kind of
Watch more
disappointed.
content.
No Ken Shamrock though. I'll be honest.
Yeah, no nostalgic, which that should be a good sign. But come on, it's the Rumble. Give me one.
Yeah.
Like last year, they threw in Booker T, which is the whole reason I had that joke at the end. Because if going into that Rumble, people were like, it's gonna be Great Muta, it's gonna be so and so, and it was Booker T. So.
what a pop for that. I didn't even know that. I like Booker T. I mean, I'm a WCW kid. So.
I don't dislike him. I just had way too high expectations, and it was like, oh, it's Booker T.
How many years was it since he had a match in WWE at that point?
Like 2, because he had done the same thing like 2 Rumbles ago. Which is why I was also like, whatever, because we just saw Booker T like in 2021. So, and that one had like Christian and Carlito. So you had a bit bigger one. So wasn't for me, brother. Wasn't for me. But check out all our content. That was the crux.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you all for joining. Thank you, Chad. Thank you, Chandler, for being on the show.
Thank you, Dave.
And yeah.
Thank you,
Takesha.
Ooh.
Yeah. Glad we're doing this. But cool. Yeah. Thank you out there, everyone. And yeah, that'll do it. Have a good one and see you next time. Bye.
Peace.
Bye-bye.